Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joe Buckley. I'm the head of modern foreign languages at Reigate College, and welcome to our MFL applicant event. Thank you very much for logging on. It's a great shame we can't see you in person, but we've still got some interesting info to go through with you this afternoon. The way that we're going to run things is that in the next 10 or 15 minutes, I'm going to go through some general information with you, a little bit about the courses, course requirements, that sort of thing. The value of learning a language, which I'm sure is something that you are all very familiar with already. Then at about 4:45, we're going to split into our three subject areas. So French, German, and Spanish. We have our course leaders from French and Spanish, Bene and Tanya, who are going to go through elements of their courses with you as well. We're also fortunate to be joined by three of our current students, so you can have a conversation with them. They can talk to you a little bit about their own experience on the course and how they've enjoyed it over the last 2 years. To begin with, a little bit of information about our department. As I mentioned, I'm the head of department and teacher of Spanish. We also have Beth Leonard, who's another teacher of Spanish, then Bene and Tanya, who are our course leaders for French and German. We're also very lucky to have three foreign language assistants with us. We have Julia, who's our French assistant, Ilona for German, and Alba for Spanish. And I'll go into a little bit more detail about the role that they play within the course as we go through. So, big question, why study a foreign language? I think it won't be news to any of you who are already students of languages that learning a language is such an important tool in a modern society. I think this little quote here is particularly nice from a language undergraduate. I think languages just set you free. If you look at a map and you notice how small Britain is in relation to the rest of the world, you can go out there where perhaps the person next door to you is just going to be working here for the rest of their lives. It's like a liberation. Learning a language gives you access to the whole world, and that is something which a lot of people don't have the skills or haven't learned how to do. Traveling is a major part of why people want to learn languages, going all over the world, working all over the world. And as this quote says, speaking the language when you're out and about is a lot better than shouting it. So what does learning a language give you? If we're talking about employers after college or after university, the top 10 skills that employers want: independence, problem solving, happy to take on a challenge, being a team player, good time management, being an analytical thinker, proven comprehension skills, proven research skills, creativity, and initiative. Now, those things are absolutely central to being a successful language learner. As you go through the course, you learn a variety of different skills and you gain an enormous amount. And you need to be able to use all of these features to be able to be successful. A big part of our course, and something which sadly this year obviously hasn't been able to happen, are our trips. We have annual trips to France, Germany, and Spain. With French and Spanish, we have study trips to specialist schools where you have classes in the morning and activities in the afternoon and the evening. Students stay with host families, so you get that perfect cultural immersion that makes it a successful trip. For German, we are hoping to be able to offer a study trip to Berlin with the history department next year. And as I said, unfortunately, because of everything that's gone on in the last 12 months, we haven't been able to run those trips. It is a central part of learning a language. So hopefully next year we'll be able to get those back to normal, and you'll be able to take part in them. We've got a few pictures here from our students on those trips. When we go into our breakout rooms, you'll be able to speak or ask some more questions to our course leaders about the specific trips that we go on, and the sort of things that you do while you're away. So we're really lucky at Reigate College that we have access to fantastic resources. As I mentioned earlier, our language assistants teach you for an extra hour per week in small groups. So from your large class groups, you go into small groups and spend an hour with your foreign language assistant, specifically working on speaking skills, which I'm sure lots of you will feel is often the language skill which you maybe struggle the most in. I know that one of the things that our students enjoy most about learning with our foreign language assistants is the confidence that it gives them, which you don't necessarily get in a big class group. You don't necessarily always get the opportunity to speak as much as you would like, to build that confidence. We center our lessons around cultural knowledge. A big part of learning a language at A-level is enriching your cultural knowledge of the Hispanic world, the Francophone world, and the German-speaking world. And as I said, our lessons are often centered around that. Using games as an extremely effective way of learning languages, and something that we don't lose at A-level. You learn all sorts of new grammar. You reinforce grammar that you've been doing at GCSE. We have amazing access to IT. So our language classrooms are all fully equipped with computers. So you can be using them for research, for listening tasks, and web-based practice. And we have our film and video platform, eStream, on which we have hundreds and hundreds of videos and movies, which you have complete access to. So our offering is French, German, and Spanish, which is done over 2 years. Over those 2 years, in year one, we start with aspects of society and artistic culture, plus the study of a film, which in our breakout rooms, you're going to be talking about in a little bit more detail. Then in year two, as above, we look at society and artistic culture, plus current issues and aspects of political life. You go back over the film that you studied in year one, and then you study a work of literature. So your entry requirements to study a language at Reigate College: you need a grade 6 or above in that language, and you need a grade 4 or above in English language. We always will say learning a language is a skill. To improve a skill, you need to practice little and often. Something that we encourage is 15 minutes a day on vocab, on grammar. We use Quizlet a lot at Reigate, which is immensely useful for learning that kind of thing. You know, I've mentioned that the learning about different aspects of culture, something like lyrics training, is great for improving your language and your culture. So if you do need any more interactive suggestions, we have a lot. It's a pleasure to share with you how successful we've been at Reigate in our languages. You can see the statistics on the screen there. So 100% pass in all 3 of our languages, and extremely high rates of high grades, which is a testament to the hard work that our students put in when they get into the A-level course. And then we start thinking about higher education. So after college, what can a language give you? What can you look to go on and study? Languages are a facilitating subject for Russell Group universities. Those are the group of some of the best universities in the country. So if you are looking to study a subject that isn't languages, having a language can be immensely helpful and impressive on your application. Looking for typically Russell Group universities look for an A grade at A-level, and given the success that we have had in recent years with our language students, that's something that you can aspire to. Other universities will accept lower grades, especially if you opt for combined degrees. And if you do look to study languages at university, you can look forward to a year abroad, that 3rd year at university. So you can either study or work in a country where they speak the language that you're studying. So a little bit of information for you on a CBI survey. So the British Council predicts that the top 5 languages needed for the UK to remain competitive globally after Brexit continue to be French, German, Spanish, Mandarin, and Arabic. So this survey indicates the demand for these languages from businesses: 54% require French, 51 require German, 50 require Spanish, Mandarin 37, and Arabic 16. What that information shows you is the importance of language in a modern world. If we want to be a country which is international and globally competitive, we need our students to be studying languages. So before we go into our breakout rooms, I just want to bring a couple of things to your attention. So you will be receiving new starter activities that will be released on the 1st of April, and subject-specific activities will be released on the 1st of June, July, and August, and those need to be completed by the 1st of September. Please follow the college on Instagram at Reigate College and on Facebook, where there are really useful updates about all the things going on at college. That gets updated a lot, so there's loads to see. We look forward to welcoming you on Introductory Day or a half-day session on the 6th or 8th of July, and Choices Day on the 1st of September. So I think we're now going to break into our rooms. So you should get an option as to which room to join. So once you see that come up, if you just click into the correct room, and you should be taken straight there. Anyone who doesn't go into a room, I can put you in manually. Okay, everybody, I think we should all be back in the room now. I hope that you found that useful and interesting in your French and German breakout rooms. Now is your opportunity to ask any questions that you weren't able to in your smaller group. If anyone would like to ask anything about the course or the way things sort of run day to day in our department, now's the chance.
Do you do any events or come together as a language cohort rather than siloed language, kind of operating in a sort of siloed way, or do you very much stick to your separate disciplines?
In the student cohort?
Yes.
Well, we sort of operate out of two main classrooms, so there's a lot of crossover between all of our students. The students, despite doing different languages, the 3 courses actually cover very similar things in their respective cultures. So students are able to share quite a lot about what they study in their respective languages. In terms of, if correct me if I'm wrong, if you're talking about events, we've obviously been a bit hamstrung this year about what we've been able to do. So there hasn't been too much sort of any at all socializing between our students outside the department, but we are very much a languages department rather than a German, French and Spanish department.
Great, thank you so much.
No problem.
Joe, can I add something?
Yes, please.
Yeah, as Joe said before, this year we were very limited by COVID, but before COVID, we had speakers and ex-students coming to talk to all languages students about their experience. So I don't know if that's what you meant, but in that situation, yes, we'd have a shared experience across the 3 languages.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Bene.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
So I've read that you can take other languages like Italian, like outside school curriculums.
Mm-hmm.
Who exactly teaches that?
We don't offer any Italian here at the moment.
Okay.
Although Tanya does speak Italian.
So no, like it was offered as an extracurricular activity. So I taught that last year. So if you do the extracurricular program where you can choose sports or learning a language, etc. So that's where you then can pick up Italian, but that's more kind of a leisure activity rather than having a certificate at the end of it. So it's just an extracurricular part.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I have a question.
Yes.
Will we be doing any coursework?
There's no coursework for a language.
Right, okay.
So part of the speaking exam that you do at the end of your second year is called the Independent Research Project, which is an ongoing piece of work which you work on and study over a prolonged period of time, but it's not coursework in the way that you might know coursework.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Good question.
I'm not sure if I should have asked this in the breakout room, but what kind of homework do we get? Is it like more essays or kind of exercises?
So the answer to that is you get a wide variety of homework. You will get homeworks which are written, written responses. You will get essay homework, particularly when you're studying the film and the piece of literature. But you will also be getting regular grammar and vocab learning homeworks, listening exercises to do for homework. So we really don't. The homework that we set you is a wide variety.
Thank
But
you.
I would say, Megan, that although we do set essays as homework, it's more, I don't want you to worry, because we don't do that until earliest March, really. We take it really slowly and petit à petit, as we say in French. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, well, in which case, I will just remind you of something I said at the beginning. Please keep an eye out for that new starters information. So that's released on the 1st of April, and then the subject specific information comes out month on month from June. Thank you so much to everyone for logging on and for joining us this afternoon. I hope it's been useful. I hope it's been interesting. And we are very much looking forward to seeing you in person and not having to do these big Zoom calls. But thank you so much and good luck for the rest of the year.